Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and much appreciated you guys swinging by the channel to spend some of your day with me. And we're going to be talking about, in my opinion, how noise affects bass, what it does to a fish, how it changes their mood and personality, what type of noise that has an impact on it. And it really, I think once you have a fully understanding of this, it really allows you to adjust your techniques and your approaches to catch more fish, because depending upon the situation, that's just part of a bass's environment anymore. So we're going to get into that in today's video. Also, before we get started, guys, just a quick invitation. I'd like to invite everybody to please hit that subscribe button, or consider hitting the subscribe button here to Advanced Bass Fishing. Be much appreciated. And thank you once again, guys, for everybody that's been using my tackle warehouse link that I put in every description, video description, to purchase your tackle. You guys are helping the channel out a lot by doing that, as well as using all of our other links. So really appreciate that. Also, guys, one thing I'll remind you real quick. Today's the 31st of March at the time of this video. It's the last day of the sale on my Solar Bat Series glasses. You can get them at 30% off right now, including prescription lenses. And if you use the promo code RandyB, you get free shipping. So I'll put the link in the description if you guys would like to take advantage of that. Okay, guys, I am very aware and very sensitive about what noise does to bass, because one of the things that I have learned in fishing is I used to wade creeks a lot. And when you're wading creeks, you can watch fish a lot and you can observe them. And I became very aware that bass are very aware of not only noise, but they're aware of shadows, and they're aware of stuff that's going on above the water. They are masters of their environment, and noise is just part of their environment. And the thing about it, it's like we have a lot more artificial noise now than we ever have in fishing, because we have more recreational boating traffic. We got jet skis, pontoons, bass boats, more people on the water than ever. So it's part of a bass's environment. And one of the things that I think is important to remember is that when a bass is born, that's all it knows. It's like the noise levels are part of their environment that they have to deal with all the time. And they don't know any different. They've never seen anything else. So depending upon the lake that you fish, some lakes that don't get any fishing pressure, like farm ponds or whatever, it doesn't have that big of an impact. But other lakes, like man-made lakes, it has a huge impact. So bass wise up, and they're smart. They fail quick and they learn quick. And a lot of that learning process has to do with noise. So here is what I have seen in my experience in fishing. First of all, and we've talked about this a little in the past, is that bass bite better during the week, because you don't have the noise decibel levels. It's like if you've ever spent a lot of time fishing and you really pay close attention to the days that you're fishing, Saturday and Sundays are usually always the toughest 2 days to fish, simply because of the activity and the noise on the lake. The fish sort of shut down when they sense that, or when they hear it. That's like a natural defense mechanism. And the fishing's usually always better during the week when you don't have those noise levels. It's my theory in fishing, is when you start having a lot of noise, whether it be from trolling motors, from big motors, from boats just moving around, electronic pings, talking in the boat, whatever. When it gets to a certain level, the bass sort of get dormant. They get inactive, and they realize that's a negative feeding situation. It's almost like when a bad cold front runs through, or if the lake floods out and gets muddy, fish just sort of get active. They don't see that as a prime feeding period. Now, what happens is when the noise levels increase, the mood and the personality and what bass do in terms of the lures they buy, it changes dramatically. Because when you have a situation where you don't have much noise and it's fairly peaceful and quiet, depending upon the weather conditions, bass will chase a lure a lot. They chase lures like crankbaits, spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, topwaters. The reaction lures were called. But you're going to find out also, as the noise levels increase, those lures become much less effective. They don't want to go out and chase something and expose themselves in the middle of all this noise on the lake. So therefore, on those days where it's noisy like that, your finessey bottom baits are always better. Your stuff like your shaky heads, your drop shots, your Ned rigs, little finesse jigs, because they don't want to leave the cover and the security of the cover that they're in. So that's one of the big things that I have found about it. They will move out of areas that's noisy. It's like if you have an area that's like, say you've got a secondary point inside of a marina cove and you got a bunch of boats idling in and out, on a Saturday on the weekend, those fish will leave those areas. They won't stay around there, and they're very sensitive to that. So it's something you have to deal with. It's like you got a couple different options on the lake that you fish. It's like if you can get away from the noise, that you're going to be doing so much better. That's one of the reasons I like to fish in the harder to get upper extremities of the creeks and rivers on heavily fished lakes, because you don't have the big boats going up there. They don't want to get in that shallow water. Those fish tend to be a little bit more aggressive. But if you're one of those anglers that like to fish, in certain parts of the lake that have a lot of traffic in it, you're just going to have to downsize. I mean, it's hard to beat like a shaky head and a Ned rig and a little finesse jig on those lakes that have a lot of noise with it. That just seems like that's the best technique that you're going to ever have. And if you have a lake like that that's just getting a ton of fishing pressure, guys, and you just want to go out and catch a bunch of fish, try going out at night. That makes a huge difference. It's like I can take you down to Table Rock Lake or any lake here in Missouri, and we'll go out the 1st of July, when there's a lot of boats on the water. It's going to be super hard to catch bass during the daytime. But if you go out there at night, when those boats are off the water and it's quieted down, you can catch a bunch of fish. So that's another option to consider if you unless you're just a tournament angler or something. But just be aware of the noise you're putting out too. It's like, and that's another thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be that there's a lot of activity on the lake, but you can put out a lot of noise. It's like, make sure that like when you're moving around in your boat, you're not dropping tackle boxes and you're not clanging around and making a bunch of noise, and you're not talking loud in the boat, and shut down your big motor like well in advance of the place you want to fish. Don't just like roll up on it real close. Turn your electronics off if you can get by with it. Don't have those electronic pings, and dial your trolling motor back. Don't have your trolling motor on a high speed where it's buzzing and whirling all the time as soon as you step on it. Just try to be quieter. That's one of the things I've learned from some of the best big bass fishermen I've ever met, is they all are quiet and stealthy. That makes a big difference. So anyway, guys, just a few tips about that. I hope it helps you guys catch a few, and we'll check in later.